Hello, welcome back to Underrated Movies. I am your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry. Today I'm going to talk to you about another underrated gem that came out back in, what year was it? 2019. Damn, that was almost 4 years ago. Wow. And it was one of those situations to where when I discovered this film, I knew about it. I didn't go see it in the theater. But I was always curious about it. When it came out on DVD, I just bought it just for the hell of it. And after I watched it, I regret not seeing it in theaters. And I'm telling you right now, guys, y'all got to check this out. If you're a fan of a certain kind of films, and I will only recommend this film for anybody who loves films such as Gravity, Apocalypse Now. What's another comparison I could do? Maybe Interstellar, Blade Runner 2049, something that's a little bit more narrative drama adventure, but it's not action heavy. It's more narrative. We hear the character's thoughts. I'm going to be talking about Brad Pitt in the film Ad Astra, starring Brad Pitt, Liv Taylor, Tommy Lee Jones, and Ruth Negga. And it's a story, and I think Donald Sutherland's in there as well. And it's a story, I guess you say it's a thriller, is when a mysterious light surge that pretty much rendered much of the Earth in a power surge, the universe in some sort of power surge, which damaged a lot of the Earth's electromagnetics on the planet. Brad Pitt finds out that part of the Lima project, which was held by his father, could have tied into the possible power surge that happened across the solar system. So he is requested by the U.S. government to venture out into space to find and track down and put a stop to whatever his father plans on doing with the Lima project. Where it's supposedly detailed that the Lima project was a idea of people trying to expand into space, just to try to live into space and to see what else is out there. Search for intelligent life. Brad Pitt plays, I think the character's name is Roy Burns, who is a very emotionless, distant person who's tried over time to make connections with people, but somehow fails. And he mentions that throughout his life that he has failed to retain relationships, it's not only just romantic, but also professional relationships as well. The guy's basically a loner. No children, nothing, not married, anything. The guy's a loner. So he's regretting a lot of those decisions of not able to somehow branch out and be more accessible to people. So he's given this mission to try to track his father down and to try to figure out and understand him. But right off the bat, they mention that he and the father, played by Tommy Lee Jones, do not have a strong relationship with one another. In fact, it feels like in the film he doesn't even know. You can even tell there are moments where you do see these two together. You do see them act like that they're completely strangers, and they're trying to figure out a bond that was potentially lost a long time ago when Tommy Lee Jones' character decided to abandon him and his wife on this expedition to seek out intelligent life. The film, right off the bat, is one of the most beautiful science fiction films I've seen in a long time. Now, the film is structured like Apocalypse Now. It's an Apocalypse Now in space, but more PG-13 rated. And it's more, I would say, I feel like it's more emotionally withdrawing. And the reason behind that is that I think you can connect. I feel like there's a lack of connection with some of these characters. Everybody feels so distant. And I feel like it seems like it was constructed that way into the film based on what what this film sets up in this world, where anybody in space, astronauts and all that, have to have some sort of emotionless self-control where they can't get over emotional, they can't really be in touch with their feelings um, to try to retain some sort of life or trying to adapt into space, because they even make it to a point where being in space can be extremely lonely. The film touches on isolation, loneliness, and from what I understand, by being outside in space, away from the Earth, people have become more distant from one another. And you can see there's these constant revaluation tests that Brad Pitt has to check in and everybody else to see if you can handle being out in the space. The film, I believe the score is very minimal. And what I mean by minimum, it doesn't, unless there's like some sort of intense scene that really goes on in this film. But it's very, I would say kind of pulled back. I'd say it's kind of miniature of music. They don't really, the music's not like loud or anything. They try to have it like a minimal like vibe to it when he goes into space. Brad Pitt collecting his thoughts or what he believes what he believes is trying to understand about his father and the mission and the whole objective behind it. It's really interesting. Where the more deeper that he goes into this mission, the more he starts to question whether or not did he really actually know his father, and could his father's abandonment have impacted his life and having trouble maintaining some of these relationships where it has, and he realizes that, and he wishes to change that. He wishes to adapt more, trying to be more relatable to people. Some of these sequences are amazing, especially like visually. Has to be one of the most visually science fiction films I've seen in comparison with Blade Runner 2049. Like it's a visual feast. Like, and I noticed the use of practical effects in this. It reminds me a lot of Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I miss that in sci-fi films. You really feel like this could be the world. It actually feels like this could be the most accurate of space travel that I've seen in any film. They even colonized the moon. There's a point where Brad Pitt goes to the moon, and you see it that they colonize that planet, that the moon, and I can actually see that actually happening in real life. It's very unique. This world is very unique, and I would like to see this world expand a little bit more. Unfortunately, this film did not do well at the box office. But I'm here to tell you, you need to check this movie out, because I'm gonna tell you, it's a blast. It's man. I don't know if that's the best way to say this, because this is a serious drama sci-fi movie. So this is a film where I wouldn't say you can have fun with, but you could be very mesmerized, and it does pull you in visually. I can see a lot of people not like this film because it does have it's an adventure film, but it's an adventure film in a way you're really focusing on the character's thoughts, where the film takes its time to getting to the character's destination. The movie's 2 hours really, but it takes its time to really get there, and I guess you feel the length of it a little bit, but you have to kind of be immersed in this character's journey and why he feels the way he feels and why he believes he needs to overcome these challenges to try to not only improve himself but also wanting to see if he could establish a new profound father parent relationship with his dad. This film is severely underrated. You got to check this out. Ad Astra. Have you seen it? Comment below. Let me know if you have, and let me know what is your favorite underrated movie.